New week, new month, new guest on 89.7 Contact FM. The show is one-on-one. Definitely, we still keeping our hashtag, and that is 101RW. So if you want, or if you'd like to leave any comment concerning whatever discussions that we're having on the program, feel free to add or include that hashtag on your comment. The reason for this is to help us to mobilize or collect or be able to track your comments quite easily. Right now, my guest in the studio today is none other than Bony Mugabe. Bony Mugabe apparently is the spokesperson of FERWAFA. Bony, welcome to One on One.
Thank you, Anangwe.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Last time I checked, you were a writer, a reporter. Are you still one?
Yeah, I'm still one.
A sports reporter.
Yeah, sure.
How are you able to manage this and be able to write your stories objectively, representing FERWAFA at the same time writing sporting articles?
There are two different tasks. All I do, I tend to work out differently on an objective, on being objective in everything that I do. So that can stop me from writing. Yeah.
Were you able to report on the disqualification of Rwanda from by CAF? Were you able to write about that?
No.
Of course, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How? Why were you not able to write this?
Apparently, I'm not. During that time when our appeal was rejected, I was not working. I was off.
You are off.
Yeah, sure. So someone else had to.
I thought reporters never have offs.
No.
Never have holidays. Once one, always one.
You have to rest once in a while.
You have to rest once in a while.
Yeah.
This was not a specific tactic to just evade that story.
No, sure.
No.
Yep.
Let's talk about it now in depth. We understand that when some people were enjoying the Kagame Cup 2014, we had this sad news coming from CAF that we were not going to participate in the qualifiers of the 2015 Orange Africa Cup of Nations, which will be held in Morocco. This was not good news for many people, many soccer fans.
Yeah.
Tell us what really transpired now from FERWAFA's side.
Yeah, sure. It was not good news, but we had to accept what CAF had said, the decisions. But we were not agreeing with the decision that CAF had taken to ban Rwanda. So that's why we had to appeal. And unfortunately, we appealed on Wednesday. Then they gave their final verdict on Saturday, rejecting our appeal. Yep.
Maybe if we now talk about it, the sequence of how events unfolded. The person in point, or the man in question, was one Dady Birori.
Yep.
Now, maybe from FERWAFA's side, the question should be: do you feel that CAF was correct in disqualifying Rwanda on the basis that they used concerning this man, Dady?
We don't feel it was fair to ban Rwanda because we had fielded Dady Birori. Dady Birori was a player and is a Rwandan by nationality since 2009. So he has been playing for the national team since 2009. And he was picked he came into Rwandan football, and when Mukura, it's a Premier League club, they recruited him. And by that time, the head coaches of Amavubi thought he's a good player, so they called him to the national team. So ever since then, he has been featuring for Rwanda national team, and is a Rwandan by nationality. But
did you know that he has two nationalities or two different names?
Yes, we did.
You did.
But let's go by how it came about.
Okay.
Yeah. He came to Rwanda in 2009. He was a Rwandan. He was given a nationality. By then, it's not the federation who gave me the nationality. He passed through other channels to get the nationality, just like any other Rwandan who had come back to his country. So after that, he played for Rwandan clubs. 2009, 2010, he played for Atraco. They even participated in the 2010 Confederations Cup.
Yes.
He was licensed by CAF. And as a player, Dady Birori even featured in the Continental Club Championship. So after that season, Atraco went bankrupt and they had to go off. So in the upcoming season, 2011, he went to Kiovi for 3 months, then disappeared and went to Congo. So by then, the federation that was in charge, they wrote to the Congolese Federation asking them that a player called Dady Birori had disappeared from Rwanda and is currently in one of their clubs in Rupopo. So ever since then, the letter was written, but no response. We didn't get a response from Congo. So from
what was this letter for? This letter that you're
saying? The letter was informing the DRC Federation not to license Dady Birori because he had left his club in Kiyovu, in Rwanda called Kiyovu, without finishing his contract. They never replied. So time went on. Dady Birori featured for Popo. So time came when head coaches wanted Dady Birori because at that time he was on his form, scoring in Champions League, African Champions League, and he was good. So they called him on the national team. But before calling him, they wrote a letter to the Congolese Federation asking for a player called Dady Birori to be summoning him to the national team. Unfortunately, the Congolese Federation, they replied saying that we don't have a player called Dady Birori.
Because he was using another name.
He was using another name. So they told us they don't have that player. So they told us that the player you might need is called Etekiema. We are forced to call him as Dady Etekiema. But we never informed the CAF. We never gave a copy to CAF informing him that the DRC Federation had refused to give us a player called from the first when he defected from Kyiv to Congo. We didn't inform CAF. So actually that's what CAF based on, that we didn't give them a copy, so we knew that he had double names.
Yeah. So this information that CAF says you didn't inform us. Why did it happen? Why did you have to get to that point?
Sorry?
Why didn't we inform CAF of this information that you're saying they're basing on?
Well, that was way back in 2011, and
you were not there.
I was not there, and it
so
passed by.
You don't take any responsibility.
We do as a federation. That was a lapse and happened. We never informed the CAF, and we paid the price for not informing them that we had wrote a letter to the Congolese Federation and forgot to give them a copy.
Immediately this information came out. There was a tweet from FERWAFA. Not so particular that that's the official account, but there was a response to one of the reporters who was following up on this issue, and that reporter is Edmund Kajire, and the response was that FERWAFA, the current management of FERWAFA, is not responsible for this incident that is going on right now. Could you confirm or deny this?
I can confirm that we are not responsible, but in football in general, we have the current management in general. We have to take the mistake. We have to take the blame and accept that we made the mistake.
So what mistake do you think you guys made?
We made a mistake by... we have to accept that we've made the mistake of fielding a player who has dual nationality. It's not only in football, but even other sports disciplines. I don't want to mention them here.
So if you're saying you're accepting that you made that mistake, then why were we even appealing?
We were appealing for different reasons.
One of them being what?
The major one was because we think the decision they took was not fair.
Was not fair, but you're saying you accept this mistake of fielding a player with dual nationality.
Our country, our constitution allows dual nationality. The player went and changed names in Congo. That shouldn't be the blame that shouldn't be blamed on FERWAFA. It goes back to, it's called a double affiliation. The Congolese Federation, they gave him another name to escape the issue of the ITC, the rule of the foreign players. So actually what CAF should be asking Congo, why did they give him another name? Yet in Rwanda, he was even licensed by CAF to feature in Champions League as a Rwandan. But went ahead in Congo, he played for Congolese football and even Champions League, and yet CAF went ahead and licensed him, yet knowing that he had been licensed in another country and even played continental club football. So this is why we think it was not fair.
But we have Rwandans who love soccer and also love the country as a whole. And when it comes to representation in any sporting activity or any event, they feel that pride that Rwanda is being represented at this, games or these activities, and they felt let down when this incident took place. And there are those who are baying for the blood of FERWAFA, saying the officials at FERWAFA have failed the nation and they must all resign. In your opinion, do you think you failed the country?
No, I don't think so, because the current management is now into its 8th month. It's starting its ninth month in charge of the federation. They were elected in January. From the start, we've tried to bring back the winning spirit of the national team. In the 10 games we've played since January, we've won 9 games and lost only once. So we're trying to change the attitude of the national team. We're trying to build different structures. To me, I can say that the thing that has happened, I can give you an example of a time bomb. This was like the time when
it was a ticking time bomb.
It has to go off. So we believe, if I can take you back, the reasons among why we appealed, we didn't want to get further sanctions from CAF, because if we had not appealed, we could be on the verge of serving 2 years sanctions in their next meeting in September. So lucky enough, we appealed, and there are no more sanctions. Rwanda is safe. We're only going to miss the AFCON qualifiers. And there are so many other reasons why we thought we could have we appealed, but they were not taken into consideration. So what has happened, and I don't believe we're one and saying that the current management should resign. No, a mistake has been done. We're all humans. It happened. Bomb has gone off. So let's see where we're going. What's next?
When you say that, it brings in the question of taking responsibility, and even the head of state, most of the time when he speaks, he always mentions the issue of blame games, people not wanting to take responsibility of some of the mistakes that happen in the institutions. You have told me twice on this show that the current management of FERWAFA is not to blame for some of the things that have been happening today. One, you mentioned that way as we were starting, and now you said you're only 8 months. I thought that when anybody assumes office, they take responsibility of everything in that office, where they inherit, including even some of the bad things, and now start working on solving the issues over there. So don't you think that probably when you make these statements, it is sort of an escapist kind of attitude? You don't want to take the blame and fully say that this was a ticking time bomb, as you said. So meaning you knew about it for some time and now it has gone off, but you don't want to take full responsibility.
I cannot say that we knew about it. FERWAFA, in its structures, the executive committee comes in place being elected by the General Assembly, the clubs themselves. So this has happened. We're going to take it to the General Assembly.
Okay.
The General Assembly, they are the clubs that give the players to the national teams. They are clubs that recruit those players and even go ahead to give them other names, escaping the issues of ITCs and foreign rule that was imposed on them not to go beyond 3 foreign players. So we are taking back the same issue to the General Assembly. Tell them, look, this has happened. We should ensure that it will not happen again. Then from there, the management will have to come up with a statement. Sindio? Yeah, that's how it should. That's how we think it should be done.
So looking forward now, maybe as we draw the lessons from what has happened in this particular situation, there are those who are saying, do we really need players who will come and play for us and are from other countries, or should we think of nurturing our own local Rwandans from a tender age through the academies and all that? And of course, as you answered this question, I would like you also to tell us here if you are also aware that there is another list of other Dady Biroris, in quotes.
Let me start from there.
Yes.
We are aware that there are other players who are currently featuring in the league, and even who are some are on the national team. As I've told you, we are taking the matter into the General Assembly. They are meeting to decide and discuss what should be done. Our proposal and the proposal from the government is such players, they should go back again to the drawing board and get their real names and the documents before playing in a league or even being summoned to the national team. But all depends on the General Assembly. The Executive Committee of FERWAFA will not take a decision without the approval from the General Assembly. But once we've discussed that, and I believe that since it is a government order, it's going to be implemented there and then. Then going back to do what next, our focus has been and is having prayers made in Rwanda. And that's what we've been doing. In January next year, we are starting the national under-15 championship. That will give us a source of prayers in 2 years' time. By 2017, we shall be having a source of prayers.
By 2017?
By 2017, we shall be having a big pool of young players who are ready to steer the nation to where we want to be. As we speak of now, the national team, we have players that were groomed in the past 3 years. They are the now players that are praying in the national team as we target CHAN 2016. So basically, we have appointed a technical director. We have provincial coaches who are going to assist in all making this happen.
Yeah. Now, because you mentioned that, and it brings me to the issue of at the end of the day, when we're talking about creating or nurturing local talent, at the end of the day, and also you've said that your institution has so far been working to streamline the football or soccer in the country. But what is the public involvement here? I mean, when we look at the issue of the involvement of the public, what ways have you used to open up the institution so that the public can also be able to, participate in some of these streamlining efforts that you say you're doing?
We are involving the public, and we are involving different stakeholders. First of all, our major stakeholder is the government. We have the media. We're even engaging the Minister of Education. We believe that from the view of the Minister of Education, we want to start the youth development thing from the primary schools under 15. So starting in January, we are having schools involved in the youth football tournament. The media, of course, is playing a big role in the development of football in Rwanda. We are doing different things with the media. Our stakeholders, the government is the biggest sponsorship of football development in Rwanda. So all those are different stakeholders that we work with on a daily basis, and we believe we are on the right path.
But then, in follow-up to this issue of Dady, as we put this issue to rest officially today, is that there's a development that he has been kicked out of the national team. That's information that we're receiving here. Quickly, your reaction as a football governing body here in Rwanda. What's your reaction to that? And don't you think that doing this to him today, or this particular time with this information, don't you think that exposes him to some segregation or some hate? Because we've walked in the streets and there's some people who have told us, even off the record, that he is the one who has cost us this.
We are not banning him from the national team, just like you say. We are banning him for the national team because of two reasons. First reason is that when we played in Congo in the first leg, he played, but when we summoned him in the second leg, he refused. And he went ahead. In an interview with the CAF Secretary General, he said in a statement that he's requesting CAF and FIFA to tell Rwanda not to ever summon him again. So
these are disciplinary issues.
Yeah, he's banned for life.
He's not being witch hunted or being punished for what has happened.
No. He's not being witch hunted. These are disciplinary measures that has been taken.
But why now?
I've told you since the first leg. He was summoned for the second leg. He refused to come. So ever since then, he was among the players who were supposed to play for Rwanda before this disqualification. I'm telling you, when he played in Congo first leg in Pointe Noire, he played. He was summoned and he came. But in Kigali for the return leg, which we won, he never showed up. And from there, he went out of coach's plans. And recently, over the weekend, a decision was taken never to call him again. So, just like I had said, our focus now is on the players that are willing to play for Rwanda, and much emphasis is on players made in Rwanda. Players made in Rwanda. So, as you say, the issue of knowing that there is another list of others who are like him, what should we expect immediately, in the immediate term? We should not expect to see any of those names featuring in the league or on the national team. So they are going also to be kicked out? They will be requested first to go and sort out their issues before being allowed back both in their clubs and in the national team.
So looking forward now, let's look at the silver lining on the dark cloud. Where do we see our football? Where do we see our soccer moving forward in terms of prosperity, in terms of winning, in terms of attracting investments in this sector? Where do we see it?
We are still on our winning record because ever since we appointed the head coach, Briton Stephen Constantine, we've moved from 139 to 101 in the FIFA rankings, and we hope to maintain that and even go into best 90 or 70. So going forward, we're out of AFCON qualifiers, but we have 2 FIFA dates in October and November. We're planning friendly matches. Sekafa is coming in September, rather in December. And as we continue, all these matches are being aimed at preparing our national team ahead of CHAN 2016. So we have to maintain a winning record from now. Then going back to how best we can improve our football and even stakeholders like us, sponsors, we are trying very much possible to make our league attractive. We are trying our much best to make our league attractive, and I'm assuring you that the league is starting late September or mid-September, and we are doing everything possible to make it attractive, and even we hope to be having a sponsor by then. We're in talks with different sponsors, and also besides the National League, we want any other leagues to start with one company on board sponsoring one of those leagues from senior team up to the youth levels.
It would be unfair for me not to mention what I'm seeing on some of the comments that are coming in, because there seems to be a feeling that FERWAFA sat on this issue and now is just reacting to sweep the issue under the carpet. There's a listener who's called Herbert Carrera, who's saying that dual nationality and different names must follow legal procedures. So why did FERWAFA neglect it and recalled him?
No, we didn't neglect it. We didn't neglect it really because...
But letting it go up to this level where it reached, it means something was not observed. I mean, it was neglected. Don't you think so?
Well, I would not like to take it that way, because a national team coach, a Rwandan player who is on his form. So the issue of the nationality, it shouldn't be blamed on FERWAFA.
It should be blamed on
clubs. Clubs are the ones who recruit, but clubs are members of FERWAFA. So if that happened, just like I had said a few moments ago, that happened through one of our clubs. So Dady Birori played for Rwandan clubs. His first club, Mukula, that's where he got his nationality, all the documents that recognize him as a Rwandan. So that happened. Ever since then, 5 years back, he has been playing for a national team. So just like I'd said, we didn't start on the issue. It just came and we had to accept it.
But when you say ticking time bomb, it normally means that there's something that is cooking, has been cooking for some time, and finally it blows up. Don't you think you're biting your own words and eating them up and swallowing?
Not really. I don't know exactly what you expect me to say, but what I can say is that he has been playing for the national team. He was given one nationality in 2009. So really, there's no way we could have known that this could happen.
Do you see foul play here? Because there are some reactions that also came throughout that time or that period, questioning and asking, how did he even get the national ID or the document that allowed him to be a Rwandan? Because from this kind of question, the issue that comes here is that could some forces from FERWAFA have played a role in pushing probably the immigration to support him to get a document because we needed him as a player?
No. That I can't agree. The issue of giving out a nationality shouldn't be asked by FERWAFA. It's not FERWAFA to be questionable on that. We all know the procedures that are taken to secure or to get a national ID or a national passport. Sindio? So he was summoned as a Rwandan player from Mukula in 2009. So ever since then he was being regarded as a Rwandan. So there's no way you blame that on FERWAFA or question that on FERWAFA, because there were no external forces that forced that to happen. He used the right the other channels that every Rwandan uses to get his national ID or his passport.
So now, how do we build trust out of this issue that has happened in closing? Because there are image issues for FERWAFA, there's trust issue for FERWAFA. There is also a backlog of some of the things that probably FERWAFA needs to do to restore that confidence in some of the members of the public who feel that if FERWAFA had acted early, maybe Rwanda today would be qualifying for that tournament in 2015.
Actually, we didn't want this to happen. We also wanted to be in the group stages. We also wanted to go there and vie for the Morocco spot. So what has happened, and we must go ahead and move on and see what can be done to improve the image of our nation, to improve the image of our football, and to develop our football. So what I can only say is that we are getting back to the drawing board and give and ensure that we maintain our winning spirit. We change what has not been done right. We change it and ensure that we maintain a perfect path from today until the future.
So we're still maintaining that statement that the decision by CAF to maintain their position on disqualifying Rwanda was based on double standards.
All I can say is that the decision that was taken to uphold or to reject our appeal was not fair.
It wasn't fair.
It wasn't fair at all.
But what can we do?
Well, our lawyers are meeting with the stakeholders, the government, to see if we can further make an appeal to the Court of Arbitration of FIFA. See they're assessing the impact of that. Then from there we'll be able to know what we can do. But as we speak now, we've started to even think about our national team, think about our league, and try to put all those things into the right perspective regarding the players' dual nationalities and identities that are still working at the moment. But the main thing, the lawyers and the government stakeholders, they are working on that to see if we can make an appeal to the Court of Arbitration.
Okay. But still, in conclusion, I know we are all agreeing that probably this incident was a blessing in disguise, that we have learned something, that something is going to be shaken up, right?
Sure, we've learned something, and we have to accept that it has happened, and we have to accept that the mistake happened, and it started in football. Probably in other discipline to arise again, but in football, this is the first and the last time that has happened.
So we're saying never again.
Never again, sure.
Thank you so much, Bony Mugabe, for your time on One-on-One.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for the insight also. So the conversation continues on Twitter, #101RW. Let us know what you think about the conversation that we've just had right here on the program. 101 continues right here on 89.7. Same time, same place. I'm Eugene, Anangwe. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye for now.